Good morning, welcome. Hope you're having a great day. Today we'll find out a couple of relationships and funny hacks that we can understand from the book which I read a couple of days back. I'm still reading it. Do you ever think the emotional baggage you bring it to your relationships? And a study says that 50% of the girls living in abusive relationships lived in their past, but the circumstances they grown up, lived in a violent home circumstances when they were growing up. So that is something that we really need to understand to try to figure it out a way to bring a meaning to the relationships when we are getting into some other relationships, because you have to be full by yourself in order to give. You cannot be half and expecting the another half will be filled by someone else, which is most likely not going to happen. Because, however, if you look back and then understand your flaws and work on it to get better, it doesn't matter any relationships, friendships, relationships, whatever the circumstances which you may be going through. Once you complete yourself, then you can start looking for someone to come and cherish what you have, and also you're more than happy to give because you're full by yourself. And if you're by default or by any chance if you're expecting some of your void to be filled by someone else, most of the time it's not going to happen. You end up having disappointments. So first thing is that you really need to realize, is there any violences you have gone through? And then think back and reflect yourself and see. It could be families, parents, abusive father who is drunk and who is having a domestic violence with your mother, or any family members for the matter of the fact. Or maybe you have a very tough upbringing financially, struggling to the ends meets. You can name many of such things, or else you never had a father, you never had a mother, or the instances can go on. But these are all the violent impressions what you had in your heart, and as you grow up, and that still remains as the same unless until you really go back to dig deep down, either forgive someone or accept where you stand, and then forget what happened, take the experiences and what you should do taking further. And I'm sure you're going to find your vibe, you're going to find your someone who meets your mindset, and then eventually you're going to figure it out a way. But at the end of the day, what I wanted to try to say is that don't expect your void to be filled by someone else, because that's really not going to help you, and most of the time you end up in a disappointment. And yes, it's good to have a set expectations, so on and so forth, but if you are not complete yourself, you're not going to complete someone else. Most of the time your frustrations you're going to put it on another person, where he's eventually is going to see a different version of you, and then eventually both will differ apart, rather than be complete yourself and see if you can give what the best you have to others, and where all the relationships will flourish. Thanks for watching. Hope that helps.